Hello, everybody. We are live with Dr. V. I'm a retired bariatric surgeon, author of 13 books. There's my med school diploma right behind me, just so you know I really am a doctor. I'm doing coronavirus talks. Why? Because the number one risk factor for poor outcomes with coronavirus is morbid obesity. That's my following. That's the most of the people who are watching me. And I've always shot straight with them, and I will shoot straight with you. And in today's broadcast, I'm going to tell you why you should not put everything on vaccines. We still have issues with the vaccines. We're going to talk about it. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I want to talk about some of the tendencies and myths that people are falling for. Okay, so if you're watching this on the replay, you can fast forward to about the 4-minute mark. That's when I'll get started. I like to say hello to people, ask them to share. So where are you watching from? Mammy Wilson is from Somerset, Kentucky. Excellent. Hey, what's up, Jimenez? Watch it on YouTuber. All right. Hi, Evie. All right. Kentucky's in the house. Cheryl, my favorite Asian. Thank you. Saskatoon, Canada. Okay. What's up with that? Perth. I've been to Perth. I love Perth. Beautiful, beautiful area. Shannon Beers from Hershey, Pennsylvania. How the hell are you? Rockwell, Texas. I'm in Houston, Texas. All right. Vermont. So it's on my bucket list that you might see right here in yellow and orange. Can you see that, Gene? It says Vermont trees. I've always had it a lifetime goal to see the trees change color in Vermont, just like your picture, and I've never made it. So we're going to talk about why you can't count on vaccines in the short term. Laura Harris, Lawrenceville, Georgia. Oh, there you go. KL Wong, London, UK. Cairns, the capital. What's up, Hillary? How you been? I miss you. Hillary came to see me speak there, didn't you? See, that's how cool Dr. V is. He remembers who you are if we meet. What's up, Nick? Hope you're doing good, man. Stay safe, everybody. Dombrowski is in the house. Right. Awesome. Thank you, Columbus, for being here. Thank you guys for sharing. Mary Beth Carswell. That's a nice photo. I like that photo. That looks good. Heather Rochelle is in Reading, Pennsylvania, fighting the fight. She's a neurocritical nurse practitioner, just taking care of some sick people. Her hospital's over capacity. Michigan is starting to lock down some. We're going to talk. I'm going to test myself too. Vitamin D does seem to help, by the way. I'm going to test myself with this COVID rapid test on air so you can see what that's all about. I'll talk about some testing strategy. I'll do a separate video on that because I think it really is necessary for, we have to change our testing strategy, okay, if we want to get over this. So, oh, it's also Sunday. So today is December 6th, Sunday, December 6th. I'm going to have a little glass of Pinot Noir with you. There's something about the first sip of Pinot Noir, the first sip of wine. Yes, this is my first sip. Not people are like, how many has he had? That's my first of the day. That's my first of the day. All right. Chris Baskerville, Dr. V is the truth. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. All right. Yep. Well, we're going to keep it real. That's right, Vincent. You know how that goes. Roel, currently taking nasal tests twice a week. Dude, God, bless you, man. Or lady. This is a blood test. We'll show you that. I also have a nasal antigen test. I haven't used it on myself yet, but I'll show you that, guys, that later. Okay. And then I'm going to test myself. Then we're going to do Q&A towards the end. But I want to talk about the pandemic real quick. Okay. And vaccines in particular. Okay. Yeah. First sip is harsh. Gets better. Never harsh. Check this out. You like my shirt? I made this shirt. Give me some thumbs up if you like my shirt. Fuckity fuck fuck. I went on to Vistaprint and made that shirt. You can do that too. It's a cool gift idea if you want to do fuckity fuck fuck. You know, but you can do all sorts of different things. So Vistaprint's pretty cool. All right. All right. So let's get started, everybody. Thank you guys for sharing, man. Thank you. We're going to talk about vaccines today. It's going to be good. I got lots of thumbs up for my shirt. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Deb. Awesome. Oh, thank you, Donna. Longtime follower, watcher. We got 500 people. Awesome. Love that. Thank you, Michelle Ann. That's awesome. That's not a penis. That's a chainsaw. What's wrong with people? What's up, April Day? All right, let's get started. Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Duck Long, world famous bariatric surgeon. That's my med school diploma on the back. I show it to you for the assholes who have to comment. Why do you have to show us your diploma? Because there's a lot of fakes out there. Amen. Can I have an amen? I'm real doctor. I am retired. I am a surgeon. This is my diploma from general surgery, 2005. This what used to hang up in my office. So I have social media following for the bariatric community. So, and you know, the number one risk factor for poor outcomes from coronavirus is being obese. It's not age, even though that's the number 2 risk factor. But that's why I started talking about coronavirus. I've been shooting it straight with you guys this whole time. Amen. Yes, yes. So what we want to do tonight, I want to talk about vaccines. All right. And today, because it's important to get the dates right? You have to know the dates because everything changes so rapidly. Today is Sunday, December. Sunday, December 6th. My first sip of wine with you guys. All right. We're going to do a Dr. V hair meter. This is my coronavirus hair. I was going to get a haircut, but then we're on fire. So I'm in Houston currently. The numbers are relatively low. Today was 1,200 cases, which I've been warning my following that it's going to get higher and higher. Today, December 6th. Yesterday, LA, Los Angeles had 7,000 cases, roughly 7,000 cases in one city. I mean, that's more than the entire country of Canada. One city had more coronavirus cases than Canada. New York City, remember back in the epicenter, back in April, everyone was loving on New York City. They got over that wave. And now yesterday, they had 3,000 cases in New York City, guys, 3,000. Miami is around 2,300 cases. And even Phoenix is, I think, over 3,000 cases again. Am I right? 3,200 cases in Phoenix. I could be wrong. Somewhere around there. But also the big Midwest is the problem. So number one point that I like to point out is this, I like to write these little tips for you guys to drive home the point. And this first point is that, we have to remember this is very different than what we've been going through. This is very different than what we were going through in the past. The entire U.S. is now an epicenter. So it's not like it was hot in New York in the spring, right? And then they got over it in the New Jersey, and they got over it in Pennsylvania, got over it, right? And then it came down to the South. And in Houston, it got up to 1,700 cases a day back in July. And I said, fuck this shit. I'm leaving. And I went to Albuquerque. Now, yesterday, LA hit 7,000 cases. So we would never thought we would get to these numbers. We panicked in July when we got to 75,000 cases and was warning people that we could get to 100,000 cases a day in the United States. And now we are at an average 7-day of 190,000 cases. And for the last several days, we've been over 200,000 cases a day, 200,000 cases a day. And we're going to fly through this. So this number one, while you guys sit there and might go, what's the big deal? Dude, this changes everything. This changes everything, okay? So back in when this all started, we were all loving it on New York. And they were running out of personnel. They had nurses from Phoenix and Houston and other parts of the country going to New York to work in New York hospitals. And then when Phoenix caught on fire and Houston caught on fire, we had Northeastern nurses come down and work in Houston hospitals and Phoenix hospitals. But now the entire United States is an epicenter. When Houston got hot with 1,700 cases in July, I left the oven. I said, fuck this shit. I left the oven, went to Albuquerque. But where am I supposed to go now? Because New Mexico is on fire. I mean, you can't escape it when it's all on fire. Oh, and I tested myself too, so that's why I could go. So some people are like, well, why are you leaving in July when it's a pandemic? Well, because I can test myself, and I tested all my friends and family, everyone I stayed with, visited. And that's actually the dirty secret. I'll do that in another video on that, is we have to change our testing strategy. But tonight we're going to talk about vaccines real quick, okay? So vaccines. Number 2. All right. Why should you not be counting on vaccines? Now, let me say something real quick, because like the wording out of our nation's capital and our leadership is not strong enough. And I understand they're trying to get people to stay positive, not panic. And they're saying things like, vaccines are right around the corner. Vaccines are just hold on for a few more months. Listen, that's the wrong verbiage. Trust me, I deal with a lot of bariatric patients. The obesity community is like, what? They are some, I love them. Hey, listen, I tough love you. I love you, but they are some screwed up people. So you have to be very blunt. This is why y'all love me. I'm very blunt. I don't mince my words. All right. I say drink 8 bottles of water, motherfucker. I say green smoothie. You want to lose weight? Green smoothie. I don't want to hear that you're hungry or blah, blah, blah. So my wording is very strong. I'm right to the point. So I deal with a lot of psychology, human psychology. So I'm going to tell you, when the leadership says, hold on, vaccines are right around the corner, we got treatments coming, we have remdesivir, we have this, people let down their guards. The natural human psychology, Uncle Billy's sitting there going, yeah, well, you know, the vaccine's right around the corner. Like, I'll be all right, right? I'll be all right. Like, oh, you know, it's no big deal. It's overblown. I want to go to the bar. I want to go to the restaurant. Listen, it's the wrong message. It's kind of like, I have a 4-year-old daughter. And so you kind of want to tell her that, you don't want to tell her that there's dessert first. You want to surprise her with a dessert. You want her to eat her veggies first and then have dessert, right? So, and surprise her with dessert. So you don't want to tell people. I know this sounds horrible. You want to tell them like, dude, eat your vegetables, man up, woman up. It's time to adult. It's time to be an adult and do what you're supposed to be fucking doing. And then in 3 months go, oh, by the way, we have this vaccine. We've been working on this vaccine and we're ready to dispense it. But no, we have to have Operation Warp Speed. We have to have, you know, trials and I get it, right? But now what happens is the verbiage is like, just hang on, it's all right. What happens is people will sit there and start going like I can take my foot off the pedal. I can let my mask down. I can let my guard down. And that's what we don't want to do. So here's what I'm going to talk about. Why you should not count on vaccines. Vaccines, we are starting to see this, okay? Right? Love you, but this is the truth right here. The vaccine manufacturers are starting to adjust their numbers. They originally said 100 million doses for Pfizer. Now they're down to 40 million doses. And they've decided on, you know, Pfizer is the vaccine that has 2 doses. So you have to get the shot and then come back. So let's do the math again for you guys real quick. UK just approved the Pfizer vaccine with first shots coming out on Tuesday, and as early as Tuesday. And they've decided they're going to give it to people over 80 years old and high risk. And then what's left over, if there's anything at the end of the day that maybe they'll waste the vial if they don't use it, then healthcare workers. I don't know if I agree with that. I'm not here to judge. That's what UK has decided. Okay. America, we're a little bit behind. The FDA will probably approve the Pfizer vaccine late this coming week, which then means it will be rolled out in production the following week. So we're talking about the week before Christmas, really. Mid to late December, right? So let's do the math. Let's say you're gonna get it first mid December. You got to get the second dose 3 weeks later, which will put you around mid-January, and then it takes about a month for you to develop antibodies. And when I had to have the hepatitis vaccine for med school, I had to then go back to see if I actually had antibodies. All right, so they had to draw my lab a third time, which you know how Americans are, how people can be. They're not always the best with follow-up, okay? So now you're going to have people go for their second dose, and then they have to hold off for a month to get antibodies. And rightfully, you should be checking antibodies. But that means really you're talking about Valentine's Day, right? So you really, that's the timeline, guys. So what's going to happen right now, they're already adjusting. They're already adjusting their numbers. They're like, we can't make as many as we thought. Some people argue that maybe, okay, Pfizer, you have 40 million doses. You should hit 40 million people, maybe hold a little back in reserve, but let's say 35 million people, and ramp up production. And hopefully you'll have your production up in time for the second dose. And what Pfizer has done has decided, no, we're going to assume we have 40 million doses. We're going to treat 20 million people. And then a month later, have 20 million doses available for them 3 weeks later. Does that make sense what I just said very confusingly? So instead of hitting every 40 million people and then ramping up production and then having another 40 million ready, because you guys have to remember what Operation Warp Speed has been doing is basically they've jumped the line, the manufacturers through funding from taxpayer money, have been setting up the steps that it takes to produce these vaccine candidates, and then hoping that the trials would show that they're beneficial. So if the trials had shown that these weren't working, then they would have been fucked, right? But no, so the trials are doing good. And so they already have a batch that's ready to go, that's taken them this long to produce. So what they're basically saying is they don't think that they can't what they're saying is they can't confidently guarantee that if they use up all 40 million doses the first go around, that they'll have production capacity 3 weeks later to give them the second dose. In fact, I would argue that they're clearly signaling to us, wink, wink, that they wouldn't have it ready, right? And so both Pfizer and Moderna have lowered their projections for vaccine production, which means it's not going to be as widely available as you think. Okay? So realistically, honestly, for everyday people, they are really talking about summer. For the average person, hopefully by springtime, we'll have the Oxford vaccine ready, we'll have Moderna going, and we'll have enough production. Remember, this is a global pandemic. It's not just all about America and UK, man. It's not all about America and Europe. I mean, there are other countries we got to take care of here. And also, think about this, guys. For people who are watching me in Australia, I know it's early in the morning for you guys, but if you happen to be hopping on right now, catching me, you guys did a great job. Australia, New Zealand, especially New Zealand, like squashing the pandemic. Their life has gone back to normal pretty much. You know, they're opened up. They still have to do their social distancing. But problem with that is they don't have any sort of herd immunity. In America, you know, we have 14 million. I don't know why that made me laugh. 14 million. It's just a ridiculous number. Americans who have tested positive. So they have some form of immunity. And I'm going to talk about immunity here because that kind of plays into this. So we don't have to quite vaccinate as many people, but it's still a lot more people than you think. Remember, I've done talks on herd immunity, and we need about at least 70% to people to take it. So to do the math easy, 70% times 300 million Americans, that's 210 million doses alone. Vaccinations, well, it's double dose, so it's 420 million doses alone. And so they're talking about 40 million doses now. So the companies have already lowered their projections on production. That should tell you something, okay? Can't count on vaccines, all right? So number 3, and I talked about this already. Okay, shoot. I let go of my all caps. So the number 3, vaccine timelines are longer than you think. You got to remember for these 2 dose ones, you got to give it a month following that, right? So it's really a 2-month window. So we're talking really February 14th, Valentine's Day, before the first vaccinated people have immunity, right? And I'm going to get to immunity. And then they're talking about mass production for us in really May, June, July, really July, right? So if you fast forward July 4th, I love holidays, right? Independence Day, I could see Americans totally rewriting like what we've done, like Independence Day, like the movie 4th of July, we conquered coronavirus. Yes, we're regaining our independence. I mean, I'm ready for them to go ahead and start those memes. Ignoring the fact that probably by that time, 500,000 Americans will have died. Probably. They're already, the head of CDC just read, Dr. Redfield this week said he thinks 450,000 Americans will be dead by February. So possibly might die. So for me to say 500,000 by July, that's not a very bullish number. I mean, it's probably going to be more than that, but it's a really horrendous number. But so July 4th, July, August, September. So now we're talking Labor Day weekend, which that's a long time, guys. We're not Uncle Billy, like Aunt Sally, Karen, I love you, but we are not nearly done with this. I don't understand why people keep saying it's a hoax, it's a fake, we're over the election. You should not be rallying. You should not be protesting results. It didn't disappear after November 4th. You know, it didn't go away. We still hear about it. More and more people are dying. I just don't understand what is wrong with Uncle Billy. Why do people think this way? All right. Eventually, and even I have friends who are working in the hospital, and there are people who are sick in the hospital with coronavirus, and they still think it's a hoax. They still think that they're going to survive this. It's really fucking sad. That just goes to show you how strong our ego is. This idea, Tony Robbins says, that our egos will not let us be wrong. So you can't convince Uncle Billy or Aunt Sally. I hope you hit the share button. I hope you share this video, but trust me, my 1 or 2 fucks is not gonna change their behavior. You're just going to have to isolate yourself from them and send them love and blessings, and hopefully they won't catch it, right? But it is on fire, right? The entire United States is hot, okay? Okay, so vaccine timelines are longer than what you think, number 4. And this is the big question we don't know about. And this is the problem with people saying, just open her up. We need to have herd immunity. We're going to walk around and have parties. We're having COVID parties. Dude, this is the dumbest thing. We don't know if you get lasting immunity from once you've had this. We actually have good cases now where people have caught it a second time, right? We actually have the first patients who have died the second time. Does that make sense? They survived it the first time and they're going, look at me, motherfuckers. I'm Superman. I'm invincible. I should put on a cape. And then they die the second time. It's ridiculous. The truth of the matter is we don't know about lasting immunity. Well, with my test kits, these test antibodies. And so what's happening is I'm going to demonstrate the test kit on myself here towards the end. And then I'll take your questions while we're waiting on the 10-minute results. But I'm testing my friends, my loved ones, my family members, and I have a next door neighbor who she caught it back in July. And her antibodies are starting to get weaker and weaker on this test result. So we don't know if this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime vaccine, like polio, like chickenpox, or if you're going to need boosters, or if it's going to be seasonal, like the flu. Right now, listen, I don't want to hear anybody sit there and go, yeah, it's all about the money. These drug companies are making money. And dude, these drug companies are following the science. They're trying to save your life. You don't want to take the vaccine? That's fine. Go ahead. The following question always gets pulled to me a lot. Dr. Vong, will you take the vaccine? And the answer for me is not first. And I'm not, no conspiracy theory. I'm relatively young. I'm 48. I don't, I can't believe I'm 48. It seemed like yesterday I was 21 trying to get my willy wet. But, you know, like now it's like, wow, 48. I'm glad the little toy soldier still works, man. So I can't believe I just said that. I can't. See, now you can't hit share. Some people are going to be like, hey, everybody, hit share and fast forward to the 25-minute mark. So I'm young, relatively speaking. I don't have any comorbidities. I don't take any medicines. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't smoke. I don't have COPD. My BMI is 22. I'm not overweight, you know. And I have test kits, so I can test myself. So I work from home. This is my home. This is my backdrop. Let me grab a book off of my bookshelf for you. So I don't really need to go anywhere. I don't need to be the first ones getting vaccinated. Now, if you're a healthcare worker, you know, if I was still working, I would probably take it, at least until this gets over. I don't take the flu vaccine. That doesn't mean I'm anti-vaxxer. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. It's just the flu vaccine doesn't make any sense to me. It's only 50% effective. It changes every year. It's a guess. And it's the same reasons. I'm not old. I'm not young. I don't have comorbidities, right? And I got worse and worse. I got worse and worse flus when they made me take it when I was a doctor. And I stopped taking it for the last 10 years, even before I retired. They couldn't make me take it. They're like, we're going to send you home. I'm like, all right, I'm a surgeon. Send me home. Of course, they never followed through with that threat, did they? So we don't know about lasting immunity with coronavirus. This is a big deal. Our best guess right now, mark my words, our best guess is 2 to 3 years. That's what we're thinking about this vaccine. The whispers behind, you know, in the boardroom is probably every 2 to 3 years with a coronavirus vaccine. We're hoping for 2 to 3 year immunity. That's it. So I want to introduce you to a new word, 5. You're going to say, everyone knew the word epidemic. And then we learned the word pandemic. And I want to teach you a new word, which you've heard me teach you before. Oops, hold on. That's not what I wanted to do. All right, here it is. Our new word is endemic. We are going to go from pandemic to endemic. Pandemic to endemic. Endemic means it's just in our community. It's here to be with us. It's here to stay. We're not going to eradicate it. We're not going to get rid of it like smallpox. Like we're not going to control it like polio. We still have polio in this world. It's almost gone, but there are a few flare-ups. Just like there's flare-ups of measles, chickenpox. But you'll have little flare-ups of coronavirus in the future. It will become endemic. But we'll know what to do by that point. We'll have treatments. We'll have isolation protocols. We'll have some herd immunity from vaccinations. And we'll know more about the science. But this is several years down the road. But this coronavirus is endemic. It's here to stay with us, okay? It's here to stay with us. Okay, why should you also not count on the vaccines? And one of the things that we have to overcome is this idea. For some reason, there's a very large movement in the United States of anti-vaxxers, anti-vaccines, claims that there's mercury in vaccines, that it causes autism, stuff like that. And we don't have good data that shows that. There really is, when they look into this, vaccines for the most part are very, very safe. I took all my vaccines that I had to take. I don't take the seasonal flu vaccine for the reasons why I mentioned before, but I'm not an anti-vaxxer. So part of what we're going to have to do is convince people to take the vaccine. And we really need 70 to 75% of Americans, of people, to take this vaccine. And a recent Gallup poll repolled them. The first poll showed that 50% of Americans said they would not take the vaccine. They would take the vaccine. So in other words, half people would not. That they repeated that poll, and that number is now up to 58% would take the vaccine. So now we're up to 58%, right? We're not near the 70% that's going to be required. And by this point, once the vaccine is rolled out, we're going to have 20 million positive cases. And then you tie that into, we don't know how long your immunity is going to last. And yes, I know, and I've done videos on the difference between antibodies and T cells and that sort of stuff. So there could be T cell memory. We just don't know yet. This is what's called science. And this is actually where a lot of the conspiracy theories come from, is that people don't understand just basic science. There's not like, you're not going to be tagged with a microchip. There's not nanotechnology robots inside the vaccine. I don't know what's wrong with you, Uncle Billy, right? And you are correct. It is your God-given right to refuse a vaccine. That's actually one of the reasons why I got out of medicine too. It's a minor reason. But every year they got tougher and tougher of trying to force the flu vaccine on me. I'm like, dude, the flu vaccine doesn't work for me. It makes me sicker and sicker. I don't want it. And eventually I just said, meh, I make enough passive income with book sales that I don't have to work. I'm not big baller. I'm not like killing it, but I'm not going to lose my house either. So I was like, baby, let's just be all right. So we don't really have the nano robot technology yet. That's coming. It is in the future. It's just not here yet. And then to be able to inject it through a vaccine and cold temperatures, et cetera, it's not going to work. So why else should you not rely on vaccinations coming through? Is this one. And this is going to be the big one. Okay, kind of goes back with what we said earlier. I just got finished saying, is this is a huge logistics nightmare. To deploy the vaccines to millions of people worldwide is a logistics nightmare. It's hard. So here's the problem. Shit rolls downhill. We currently, and I'm not political, I don't care your political leanings, but we currently do not have a nationwide distribution strategy. So every state is left to fend for themselves. I'm not political. I'm just telling you, this is the state of it. And on top of that, states do not currently know how many vaccines they're getting, how many doses they're getting. Did you know that? So yeah, great, you can produce it, but if you live in Wyoming and you're a hotspot versus South Dakota versus LA versus New York City, like can you imagine trying to plan something logistically, but not knowing how many supply there is? Like you open a shoe store, but you don't know how many Nikes you're getting. You're going to get some Nikes, but you don't know how many you're going to get. It's crazy. You have a coffee shop. You know you're going to have coffee, but you don't know how many cups of coffee you'll be able to serve that day, or how many cookies or biscuits you're going to get to sell that day. It's a logistics nightmare. And then you multiply that all over the place. And every state's a little different, right? You've got North Dakota, which has very few people, but they're spread out all over this huge landmass. And you don't have the infrastructure, you don't have the hospitals, you don't have the clinics, you don't have the skilled nursing to be able to put the vaccine. So what are you going to do? Are you going to move nurses and vaccines out to these rural areas, have people come down out of the mountains, give them a shot, and then repeat it again a month later and hope they come back? And what if they don't come back? You're talking about a Pfizer vaccine, which has to be stored at minus 70 degrees. It's a logistics nightmare. On top of that, you got people who don't give a fuck, people who think they're going to get injected with nanochips. and nano robots. It's crazy, right? So really, what we have to do now is much stronger language than what's coming out from our leadership. We have to tell the people like it is. We are fucked. December is fucked. You cannot gather for Christmas. Watch this. They're going to sit there and go, we're going to have CDC is going to issue a strong advisory against traveling for Christmas. We need to be like, shut down the fucking airlines like you did in the beginning. Why are you trapped? We shut down the airlines when we were having 1,000 cases a day. But oh, we have 200,000 cases a day. Let's just fly. What the fuck is wrong with us? It makes no sense. We shut down schools with 1,000 cases a day, but now we have 200,000 cases a day. Nah, let them go back. We shut down bars and restaurants. Nah, let's keep them open. And don't even fucking get me started on 10 p.m. curfew. I don't blame the restaurant owners and the bar owners. Like, why are you making me shut down at 10 p.m.? Because the virus suddenly stops working at 10 p.m.? I don't blame them for being pissed. It should be all or none. And I say all, but I honor people's opinions. You got to make a livelihood. But if you're going to tell people to shut down their businesses, our fucking government has to get their heads out of their asses and support the people. The number one mistake, we're going to look back at this, and I hate to say this. Well, I don't hate to say it because this is true. We made the same fucking mistake that we made back in 2008. Who remembers 2008? When shit hit the fan, what did we do? $800 billion that we thought, we were like, $800 billion? Oh my God, that's so much money. And what did we use that on? We bailed out the big banks. They were too big to fail. They were too big to fail. We bailed out the big banks. We bailed out the auto dealerships, the car makers, and then they got fucking record CEO bonuses. I mean, why are we not mad about this? That money should have gone to the people. This is not socialism. I'm not a socialist. I'm a refugee from Vietnam. I fled communism. I am not interested in seeing communism. I'm a capitalist. I love the American. I am the fucking American dream. So don't call me a socialist. But what we're doing is, if we're saying we have to shut down, then we need our governments to support us. I mean, that's just where it goes. But that's not what's going to happen. The $2 trillion plan, the $1 trillion plan that they passed in the spring went mostly to big companies. And what we're going to see is, when we look back at this, we're going to say we made the same fucking mistake again. We gave the money to big companies, not small businesses. There was a few, Dr. V, there was the PPP. Most of that money went to big businesses. Let's say it what it is. When that money should have just gone straight into the pockets of the people we were telling to stay home. And these businesses, what's the point of the business? Hey, listen, dude, we're going to pay all your employees. Take them off the payroll. You be good. You know, we're going to pay the landlords. So your rent's going to be covered. You know, what's the big fucking deal? It's a pandemic. But no, we pay these big businesses, and watch when the word comes out that these people got, you know, they're up for their end of the year bonuses again. They're going to get them. They're going to get these bonuses again, guys. And we're going to go, we totally fucked that shit up again. So now they're compromising on a $900 billion deal that somehow is a compromise. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully they'll learn their lessons, right? What I'm trying to say, as again, I'm not being political, but I want to be very strong in my wording. We are fucked. December is fucked. January is fucked. I would not be saying that if we had come into December with like 10,000 cases. Fauci back in September said we need to get this down to 10,000 cases. We were currently around 40,000. I said we'll be lucky if we get down to 20,000. The last thing we want to fucking be is 200,000 cases a day heading into December. Start the first week of December, 200,000, 200,000, 200. It's the last thing you fucking wanted. All right. So Uncle Billy, Aunt Sally, just mark Christmas off the calendar. We're doing it virtually. Stay your asses at home. Even if you get tested, it's not safe. I'm telling y'all. Here, let me do number 8, last one. Okay, this one is important. This is what you have to do. If they don't live in your household, if they don't live under your roof, they are positive for coronavirus. I'm telling you, Dr. Burke said last week that if people traveled and gathered for Thanksgiving, they need to assume that they are positive and they need to get tested 5 to 7 days later. That's right now. So people right now are starting to get tested, and a certain percentage of that is going to go up. Test positivity in North Dakota and Wisconsin, those are 50% positive tests. So if you're testing them, they're going to turn out positive because they fucking have it. They have it. It's not due to testing. It's due to positivity rate. Okay. It's due to positivity rate. So you're going to have this huge positivity rate. And now you're going to have people scared. And now you're going to have people panicking. And now you're going to have people cursing. And now you're going to have people spreading conspiracy. See, I got it. And I got over it. I didn't die. Why the fuck did I come into this room? Oh, why do I have this chronic migraine? I didn't die. See, I got coronavirus. I didn't die. Why I can't seem to catch my breath. I can't ride my bicycle anymore. I'm short of breath. Why did I come into this room? They don't even talk about the lingering effects. They don't talk about the chronic migraines, the chronic heart inflammation, the chronic brain inflammation, the chronic, forgetfulness, the brain fog. But see, it's all overblown. Who are you again? It's stupid, right? Is that strong enough wording? Is that too strong? You know what I mean? This is where we are. This is what Jerome calls the facts. We are fucked. And it's not just Christmas, guys. Because the week following Christmas, fucking New Year's, then you know who you are. If you're under the age of 50, you're looking to get you some. You're looking to find someone to kiss. Hopefully it's your spouse, but it's not always your spouse. You know who you are. You want to gather. You want to hug. You want to get drunk. You want to sing Old Lang Syne. I love that song. It always makes me cry. I have no idea what they're saying, but hearing Old Lang Syne makes me cry every time. Hey, put a one in the comment section if that song makes you cry. The New Year song, for may all acquaintance be forgot. That part makes me cry. I'm about to cry. Don't cry, Doc. Don't cry. And never brought to mind. I think it's that note. That really makes me cry. And I want that too. But I'm telling you, we can't. We can't get together for Christmas. We can't get together for New Year's. You're going to have to ring it in for all the people. Look at that. See, I knew it. Yeah, baby. See, these are good-hearted people right here. If you cry during Old Lang Syne, you're a good person. We're all crying. I'm telling you, it's tough. It's tough. All right. Doug, you should be pissed, buddy. I miss you. Stay safe. We're screwed, man. Like, it's not going to be good. And if you're just watching me now, remember, the immunity does not come. The very first people to get vaccinated will have immunity starting around Valentine's Day. We have to hold out till Valentine's Day. And even then, you still won't be able to go celebrate. Because if you do the math, and I'll just make the math easy, it's 200,000 fucking cases a day. Not 200,000 total. There's 101,000 people in the hospital currently. So yesterday it was 200,000 cases. Today it's going to be another 200,000 cases for a total of 400,000 cases. And then tomorrow it's another 200,000 cases, 600,000 cases. And you know it takes about 14 days. So what you'll see is the numbers you're seeing, the daily total, it's the 200,000 is 200,000 new tested. That's the part that people don't get. It's 200,000 new positives, not total, guys. It's not 200,000 total cases. It's 200,000 new cases. There was 200,000 new cases yesterday. There will be 200,000 new cases tomorrow. That's a total of 600,000 cases. And 10% of those will go to the ICU, will go to the hospital. That's 60,000. Come on. We're overwhelming the system. It's not going to be good. And now they're turning people away. They're turning people away. Now listen, there's some fuckers on here, on YouTube especially, that want to stick to their conspiracy theories, want to talk about the testing is flawed, want to talk about how people are, I can't believe fuckers are still saying that people are lying about diagnosing things as COVID. My friend had a car wreck and they said he was COVID positive. Listen, dickhead, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. We lose our license when we do that. How many fucking death certificates have you filled out? It's ridiculous. Okay. There are people still trying to do stupid things like saying, it's a test that doesn't work. It's false positives and false negatives and it's lab error. And I didn't even listen. Fine. Sally, Jenny, Bob, whoever the fuck you are, you're right. You're right. The tests are flawed. The doctors are lying. All right? The deaths are not that high. Okay, let me ask you a question, dickhead. By how much? What percentage are they off? These tests are wrong by what percentage? 10%? 20%? How badly are doctors lying? How many of these deaths are really due to flu and they're being called COVID? Give me a guess, dickhead. 10%? Well, I got news for you. 10% of 270,000 deaths is 27,000. You still have 243,000 people that are dead. How do you feel now? No, it's much higher, Dr. V. You're a fearmonger. It's really 50%. You can't even do 50% of 270,000, dickhead. It's 135,000, by the way. So you're telling me 135,000 people, that somehow makes you right, makes you justified. It's ridiculous. These tests are wrong. There's 14 million cases, 15 million cases. All right, Uncle Billy, you're right. It's a lie. It's still 7.5 million cases if you divide it by 2. The numbers are so fucking large now. You just look like a dick. You just look like a punk. You just look silly. You look sad. And no one fucking cares. We're all tired of it. It's not political. Uncle Billy, it didn't go away on November 4th. What is wrong with you? Oh, it's only because all these big pharma's gonna make billions of dollars, trillions. No, they're gonna make trillions of dollars. Who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? You shouldn't listen to Dr. V. He's selling rapid tests. Yes, I'm selling rapid test kits. Why? I can get them. I went to school for years to know what to put in here. Your Uncle Billy cannot get you these test kits. And you take it at home in 10 minutes to give you results. You don't have to sit in line. And I'm giving you just enough so I can make a little bit of money. So I can pay my friends to fucking pack these together. And guess what else, Uncle Billy? There are not enough tests to go around. These numbers are so large. There are not enough tests to go around. Why the fuck do you think people are lining up 5 hours early before these testing centers open? You look like a dick, Uncle Billy. You sound like a buffoon. Stop it. And if you don't want to stop it, then fucking you just can't come over. You can't stay. You can't come in. I don't know what else to tell you. We can't be friends. I can't talk to you. You can't come over next year for Thanksgiving. Mostly because you'll be chronically ill from surviving coronavirus. You'll have chronic memory loss. You'll have a chronically bad heart. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. But you're right, Uncle Billy. You survived it. Good for you. And what you forget. Hey, listen, guys. Dr. V pulls one on you. Uncle Billy's only 48. Uncle Billy's 48. He can't breathe. He's got no money in savings. He is fucking on disability. He can't work. His wife just left him for his older brother, his younger brother. It's always the younger brother. Uncle Billy's wife, Aunt Sally, just left him for Uncle Joe. Uncle Billy's only 48. See, you think Uncle Billy's 70, but he's not. Uncle Bob, who is 70, is scared to smithereens because he's seeing his friends drop dead. He's realized he's 70. He knows he's got a limited amount of time. He knows that, if he gets it, he probably won't survive it. But Uncle Billy's only 48. And next year, you're going to have a whole bunch of Uncle Billys who can't work, who can't breathe. They can't work because they can't breathe. They can't work because they have chronic migraines. They can't work because they've got chronic inflammation around their heart. They're in heart failure. They have chronic lung disease. We have a post-COVID syndrome, motherfuckers. We have a post-COVID syndrome that also includes diabetes. What the fuck is that all about? How the fuck is a virus causing diabetes? I don't know. Remains to be seen. See, I haven't even talked about that. You guys are just here for the curse words. But think about that. Think about this. This is why y'all love me. I call the shit like it is. Uncle Billy's only 48. We're going to have a whole generation, and not just Uncle Billy, their whole family. They can't work. And Uncle Billy and Aunt Sally. They went from 2 incomes barely making it to 2 disability incomes. And they have kids. Their kids are 15 years old and morbidly obese because they had to have the latest Nintendo, Xbox, Game of Jiggy, Game of Thrones things. I don't know. I don't play video games. But you get the idea. And they can't do simple math because they've been homeschooled for the last year. All right. Hey, listen, I love you guys. And as always, love and prayers to our healthcare workers. I'm going to take some questions here real quick, and I'm going to do a rapid test while we're waiting on results. But my love and prayers go out to the frontline people, the healthcare workers, the aides, the labbies, the first responders, the paramedics, the police officers, grocery store clerks, everybody who essential workers, man. It's everybody. Pharmacists, pharmacy techs, even the front desk girls and guys who have to check you into the hospitals. They're not getting paid hazard pay. They're not making a fucking killing. What's wrong with y'all? Come on. Adulting is hard. Adulting is hard. Okay? So if you're interested in seeing me do a rapid test, I'm about to do it. Otherwise, I love you. I'll see you next time. But if you're interested in these COVID rapid tests, you can message me on Facebook, facebook.com/Dr. Vong. Right? You might already be watching it. Okay? I put these COVID rapid tests together. You cannot order them online. If you go online, you try to find these, what you'll find are these fly-by-night companies that will send you a box of like 25. Will give you this big bottle of solution and this tiny instruction booklet, and you're going to try to figure it out for yourself. You're not going to have everything you need. So I said, listen, this is for private use. This is for people who don't want to wait in line for 5 hours, who want to test frequently. I test myself every 10 to 14 days. My last test was 14 days ago, so I'm due again. I test myself every 14 days minimum, 10 to 14 days. I do it at home. I don't want to go. I don't want to wait in my car. I don't want to go see my doctor. I don't want to fucking go to Costco. I don't want to fucking go to Kroger. I do this at home. So I'm going to show you how I do it. And if you're interested, just message me, right? These are $100 each. 5 for $500 is what I sell them for. That's less than Costco. Costco is $130. So even 5 for $500, you're making a good deal. But I know this is terrible. Some of you guys might not like it, but I wholesale these for you. So you can get these wholesale price, $50 each, minimum of order of 20. So I can get a price break at 20. So yes, I can do the math. That's $1,000. But you'll get 20 kits and you'll get me. So comment if you've ordered tests from me. I send it FedEx overnight if you want. I send you tracking. So comment if you're watching and you've ordered from me, and just let them tell you. Here you go, Rosita. I got my test. So grateful. I'm having them at my convenience. These are antibodies tests. Amy needs some tests. Good. Get some. I'll take your questions here in a second. Okay. And if you order for me, just put up there like I'm the real deal. See, Violet, I send it to you the next day, and you message me if you get it, and like you take a test and you don't know, if you're confused, they message me. They're like, Dr. Vaughn, they'll send me a picture. What do you think of this? And I'll say, oh no, that's negative, or oh no. All right, look, somebody just said here, Carlos. He just messaged me the other day, didn't you, Carlos? Order from Dr. V, receive in a timely manner, right? Michelle, and she's fucking, and I still remember Michelle from England, right? Northern Ireland, yeah, that's right. So here you go. Jennifer just ordered for me last week. I ordered, and he's awesome. Thank you. And she messaged. So you get not only the test, but you get me if you ever have a question about a result. So here's what you'll get if you order. So message me on facebook.com/Dr. Vong and put 20 for $1,000. So you know it's $1,000 minimum investment, and I'll get your order out tomorrow. I made these cards. So here's how you read the results. It's nice and big. Results in 10 minutes. It tells you, like, this is like for dummies. It tells you where to put the blood sample and everything. All right. I'm going to scoot this back. Thank you guys for watching. Okay. In this test kit, and I put these test kits together, you get the rapid test. It's a 10-minute finger prick. It's like if you've ever had blood tests for like diabetes, it's the same thing. You'll get a pair of gloves if you want to use gloves, or if you're scared to prick yourself, then your mom or your friend can do it. Here's a little Band-Aid. You don't really need it, but I'll give you a Band-Aid. I open it up, get it ready for myself. Here's the alcohol swab. Okay. We want to wipe our fingers down, but here are the other two things. Look, here's the buffer. You see there? There's buffer solution in there. It's all you need, right? I know what to order to know which buffer to order. This is why you can't do this. And I'm willing to take the risk. And here's the finger prick. So this is called a lancet, motherfuckers. This is called a lancet. I went to med school to learn how to call this thing a fucking lancet. Okay, and you're gonna literally just prick your finger right there like that. Let me show you here how to do this. So this is what you get in the kit. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna open this test, and this is FDA. It's not. There's nothing FDA approved. It's EUA, emergency use. So this is. It's on the FDA EUA list. Okay. So you open it, and not everybody can buy it. You know. You have to have your connections, man. Okay. So for $50, I'm telling you, here's the kit, here's the actual test, and you read it just like a pregnancy test. But it's a blood test. So prick your finger. Don't pee on my test. Hashtag don't pee on my test. And I'll take your questions here in a second. And then this also comes with a pipette. You see, $200,000 later, I know this is called a pipette, not a turkey baster. And the first thing you're going to do is knock down all of this buffer solution down to the bottom. You're going to open this aliquot. This thing is called an aliquot. And then you take your pipette, i.e. turkey baster, you put it in here, and you suck up all of that. Okay, you see? Now it's in the top of your turkey baster. Uncle Billy, and you leave it right there. And that's the solution. This is called lateral flow technology. It's a cassette. It pulls the specimen up. Oh, wrong way. I had it upside down. Pulls the specimen up, and it reads it reacts up here. Okay. So I'm going to test myself, and you're going to get the results. We'll get the results in 10 minutes, and I'll take your questions. All right. So here's literally what you do. 10-minute results. You don't send it into a lab. You don't have to ask your doctor. You don't have to buy any fancy equipment. You're going to do exactly what I do. Okay. So here's my finger. So I'm going to use this finger this time. Last time I used this finger, but this time I use this finger. Here's the lance. You literally take off the cap. Take off the cap, Uncle Billy. And 1, 2, 3. No big deal, man. No big deal. Does not hurt. A little finger prick, and then you milk out the blood, right? And if you have trouble getting a drop, you just lower your hand down here below your waist, down here like this. So below your heart, so you can get this blood. You want a nice little dollop of blood, okay? That's it. That's a good little bead of blood. That's all you need. And then, according to my instruction sheet here that I had made for you, my instruction sheet, this clearly shows that you put this blood, I'm going to try to do this, right into this top well, right there. As good as possible. That's it. Ooh, perfect hit. Look at that, baby. Okay, set that down. Take my little alcohol swab. Hold a little pressure on there for a little bit. It stopped bleeding. That's it. It's a little finger prick. It's just like diabetes. If you're diabetic, you know what these are. Little lances. Okay. And then you put a little Band-Aid if you want to show your wife that you're a tough guy. I did it, baby. I took my test. Okay. Now, here's the test. Got my blood in there. And this bottom well is where the buffer goes. So now you take out the turkey baster pipette, and you'll put pretty much all of this buffer into the bottom well. Okay. I say 2 big drops, but really people aren't putting enough. So you pretty much want to fill up that well like that. See that? Okay. I'm too close. Too close, Dr. B. Now, if you have a little blood up here that you are stuck on the well or you didn't get enough, you can drop a little blood in there, little solution buffer in there. And that's it. You wait 10 minutes and you read the results. Okay. Now look. Okay. I hope you can see this. You see that purple? You see that? Comment if you see that. You see that purple? It's running up. This is what's called that lateral flow technology. It's going to go up. It's going to hit that C. You see the C right there? The C right there means control line. So the control line is going to turn pink. If it turns pink, that means you have a good test. So you see that purple traveling up? You want to see that purple traveling up? All right. Now watch. You see that blue line is going to turn pink. Isn't this fascinating? You're like fascinated. Okay. Ooh, look at it. It's turning pink. That means I have enough buffer. I have enough blood. And this is going to check my antibodies. Ooh, look at that blue. Okay. This is science, guys. And for me to put all this stuff together and sell it to you for $50, it's so fucking cheap. People are sitting there like, oh my God, he's selling test kits. Well, goddamn. Yes. That's how we get over this, is we have to have a better testing strategy. Okay. So this antibody test checks for both IgG and IgM. So there's a line that says G and a line that says M. All right. So we're at 616 mark. I'll check this in 10 minutes. You want to read this within 10 to 15 minutes. After 25 minutes, any results are invalid. By that, I mean, you can't, it's been exposed to air, it's dehydrated, you can't read the test. You got to read it within 10 to 15 minutes, okay? So we're at the 16 mark. I'll read at 26 mark on my camera here. Okay, so I had these made for you guys so you can easily see where to put everything. And check that out. Here are the results, okay? You want this result. You only want to see the control line be negative. If If it's blue, what I have found out is most people are not putting enough buffer. So they message me. They send me a pic and they say, hey, what's going on with this test? And I'm like, you didn't put enough buffer. So if you order from some other company online, you're not going to, good luck getting a customer service rep on there. They're not real companies, guys. You can trust me. Okay. Now, this is everything it tests for. If you get aligned by the G, aligned by the M, that's IgM positive, which shows active infection or lingering infection. IgG shows past infection. And you can also get the nightmare, both. Both can either mean you're actively infected and you're forming IgGs, or you were infected in the past and you've been reinfected. And then it says you got to read this shit in 10 minutes. Just a reminder. Okay. So we're going to read this in 10 minutes. It's been 2 minutes. Still negative. And the other reason why this is important is because, we are in the fall. So you get flu, you get seasonal allergies, and people are coughing. And I have allergies. It could be a cold. Don't know the difference. My daughter started coughing a couple weeks ago and had a runny nose and stuff. And her mom was like, she could be positive. I'm like, she has a cold. It's fine. How do you know the difference, Dr. V? Oh, right there. Right there. Cheers, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. Thank you for hanging out with me for this past hour. Rosita, Dr. V is a real deal. Ria Moore got my package quickly. Thank you so much. I'm going to get a few family members with me. That's the best thing to do. Best thing to do. Good question. Alicia, we have a saliva test here in Sao Paulo. I have. They're not very accurate. You have to be careful. They're only about 60% accurate. My tests, these are 95% accurate. Now, listen, we can have a talk about different types of tests. Now, the nasal one, the PCR one, the one that shove up your nose, is the most sensitive. That means it will pick up the lowest levels. That's why they want you to use it to check for active infection. But they're only 70% accurate because you could miss it. This is a whole big space. They got to get up in there. So they're only 70% accurate. This is a blood test. It's very accurate. It's 95% accurate. It's just not as sensitive because you need to have enough virus there that your body makes antibodies. And you also have to have an immune system strong enough where it makes antibodies. So for somebody who's on chemotherapy, do not use this test. What you're going to see, mark my words, you're going to see a whole different testing strategy that I've been fucking telling y'all since October that they're going to roll out. You need to have more frequent, cheaper testing. You can't have people sitting outside in lines next to each other in their cars waiting. Okay. It's not good. Jennifer, since you ordered for me, Jennifer ordered for me. What do you recommend for recovery for people who unfortunately do catch it? This is a really good question, but it's a hard answer because remember, there's the virus and then there's the host. So the question really is how much viral load is everything. How much virus did they get exposed to that they actually got in their body? And the host, how strong are they? Are they young? Are they low risk? Or are they older, obese with comorbidities? Because those are different algorithms. So you might have an older patient who does not get very much virus and they get hurt, but they survive it. You might have a younger kid who has a huge viral load and then they die. And that's what you're seeing some of these 20 and 30-year-olds that are dying. So it's really about viral load. It's also about the host. The key, though, that what we're doing to not overwhelm the hospital, the hospital systems are trying to come up with home monitoring systems. So this would be a very good fucking time if you have an oxygen delivery service, if you have anything like that where you can add to it oxygen, you can add to it pulse oximetry, you can add to it, you can partner with a home healthcare agency. You can do a lot of monitoring. So they're sending people home to monitor remotely through apps and things like that. What else? are they doing? That's just relatively, that's interesting. Anyway, so they're trying to treat people as much as possible from home. Oh, I have one of my mentees. She has a pesticide business, so she was spraying bugs, and when coronavirus hit, she switched. She still does the pest stuff. She added coronavirus spraying, so disinfecting. And I was like, that's so smart. That's so smart. So here's a good question. And I've talked about this before, ditching the grind, recommend any vitamin supplements during the pandemic. So there's only a couple that have been shown to be effective. Vitamin D seems to be effective only because that they looked at patients who were admitted to the hospital and they were significantly lower in vitamin D. Ergo, we think, therefore, that maybe if you have adequate levels of vitamin D, you'll do better. But I will tell you that most Americans, most people have low levels of vitamin D. Why? Sunblock, sunscreen. We're also heading into winter. If you live in desert areas, like where I came from, my last position, New Mexico, people stayed out of the sun because it was fucking hot. So they have very low vitamin D levels, and it's worse in the fall. Zinc is plus minus. I know a lot of people think, oh, you got to take zinc. Plus minus is really the science behind it. And those are really the only things. Otherwise, nutrition, healthy, good nutrition, but that should have started months ago. Your immune system takes months to build up. So you should have been eating it a long time. Yep, vitamin D and K. Yes to this, but no great data yet. Not really. No, not really. All right, here we go. Exactly. This is exactly what I've been doing. I've been doing exactly this, Tiger, since end of September when I got these test kits. So I have a friend. So people want to know, like, how did I get this? I actually have a friend who is an authorized dealer. And he says, hey, doc, I got these test kits. I want to send you some. And I was like, I didn't understand at first. Because this was back in July. Honestly, this was back in July. Swear to goodness. I sat on this for about a month. It was middle of July. And I said, do you have to send it into a lab? Like, I don't have the lab equipment. Like, how do I know who to send it to? He goes, dude, you don't send it into any place. Like, what? And I was like, well, I don't, what machine do I need? And I was like, I don't have a machine. And he's like, no, it's a home, you read it like a pregnancy test. I was like, oh, light bulb. So he sends it to me. I pricked my fingers and I was like, wow. But he takes care of big businesses. Like a big company will hire him for like 100 employees, and he'll bring out a nurse and she'll test all of them using this test. And then they report the results, right? And that's it. And I said, well, I don't want to do businesses. I said, I think this needs to be a home test kit. This was beginning of September. And some people ordered from me before I had these cards. Now I have to do, before I had these kits, I was just shipping them all free, open and stuff like that. Now they're sealed, they're safety taped. I only use FedEx. I prefer overnight shipping because people were breaking into my boxes. It's crazy, right? So if you're interested in these, I'm wholesaling these $20, $50 each, minimum order of 20. I can fulfill orders up to, somebody asked me yesterday about 2,000 tests. So I can fill as many as you want, but minimum order of 20. And the holiday special is this: free shipping for orders of 40 or more. So you'll get them the next day. That'll save you about $150. Free overnight shipping with orders of 40 or more. That Andrea, that's it. 20 kits, $50 each is the wholesale offer. So what I want you to do is go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Dr. Vong, and message me 24,000. So I know that, let me get to this question here in a little bit, Yolanda. So I know that you know the price, because I've had a lot of people who message me who just like don't respond. I don't know why. They're embarrassed. They don't know the money. It's 24,000. Message me 24,000 so I know exactly you know what you're getting into. Okay. Otherwise it's 5 for 500, 24,000. You know, I get a price break at 20, and I'll send those to you. Free shipping with orders of 40 or more, free overnight shipping. My results. Let's do the results. It's been 10 minutes. Drum roll. I've had a cough. No, I haven't had a cough. I've had a runny nose because I have allergies. So let's see what we got. Boom! Dr. V is still COVID negative. And for people in my challenge, they hear me sneezing and stuff in the mornings because I have allergies. And sometimes when you have allergic rhinitis, it runs back and you actually get a cough. So I'll cough. See, I don't freak out because I know it's allergies. And then I test myself every 2 weeks, so I know I'm negative. I've never been exposed. I've never had it. I don't currently have it. It reads just like this card. I don't send it into a lab. I did it here right in front of you in 10 minutes. I got the results. I feel good. I test Erica. Her mom has been with us for the last month. She gets tested because you go out. You never know. You go out one time, and so the new strategy needs to be frequent testing. Frequent testing, not a one-time test. A one-time test does not work. It's silly. So the question about Yolanda about the sore throat, if you wake up with a sore throat, there are lots of things that can cause a sore throat, unfortunately. So you don't really know. You don't really know. Oh, here you go. This is a good question. So ditching the grind, the NAC, N-acetylcysteine. A lot of people are talking about that, but Sonia, I look forward to it. 24,000. Thank you. But not a lot of very large studies on NAC right now. Honestly, there's so much happening that you should try lots of stuff. You should try lots of stuff. Okay. How many for $100? One. One for 100. All right. So, why the city of Bakersfield don't shut down swap meets over 4,000 people in parking lot? Well, you know, this actually brings up a good question. I have shipped to the UK, Andrea. I have one person I shipped to Northern Ireland. It made it through customs. But Mysterio about stupid people, you know, they make the choice to go out there. That's the problem. We've got people that are willing to make the choice to go. And unfortunately, they're our loved ones. It's easy to sit here and call them stupid people, but at some point, there's somebody's mother and father and loved ones, and they will get sick, right? Definitely Michael Horn, exactly right. I want my privacy. I don't want to go to a clinic with sick people. My time is valuable. I don't want to wait 5 hours in line. I don't want to get up at 4 a.m. to get in line before the testing site opens. I don't want to wait 3, 4, 5, 6 days for results. Anything over a 1-day wait is a useless test. Some people will say 2 days is okay. I don't think it's okay, but if you have to have 2 days, that's fine. I will tell you, anything over 3 days is a useless test. Anything over 3 days is a useless test. And now we're getting into 4, 5, 6 days now. And remember, back in June, it was 10, 14 days, which is totally stupid. So we're going to have to change how we test. The testing protocol needs to be every 2 weeks. And I don't care if you use nasal, antigen, you can use the free one. I don't fucking care. You're broke. I get it. You don't have the money. I'm sorry. You know, it's free where you live. Fine. Get tested, but you're going to have to do it every 2 weeks. If you want something shoved up your nose every 2 weeks, go for it. I don't. If you trust the saliva test, even if it's only 60% accurate, it's better than nothing. If you spit it into the saliva test and then you send it to a lab, that's what the Costco is selling for $130 plus more if you want an app and all sorts of stuff like that. I don't need it. I just finger prick myself, good to go. And if you've been paying attention to everything I've been telling you, you guys, we are going to need this for a long time. You're not, like, people message me Dr. Vong, I just need 2 tests. I just need 1. It's just me and my son. It's just me and my husband. I just need 3 or 4. Dude, you're not listening to what I'm telling you. You're not going to get through this with 3 or 4 tests, guys. You're going to need a minimum of 20 tests. You're going to need that many tests, okay? So we have to change our mindset. You have to change the mindset, okay? And that's how we got into the situation. All right, as always, I will edit this down, take out all the sales parts, whatever you don't like, and just, I won't beep out the fucks though. You get the fucks. And just message me, facebook.com/Dr. Vong, and I'll be back again tomorrow for another yelling fact. Should I keep the yelling part at the end? I thought that was pretty good. Uncle Billy's only 48, y'all. Uncle Billy's only 48. Am I right? Okay. Love you guys. Be safe. Be kind. Be good. Take care of each other. Love you. Bye.